Safety Net Studio presents.
Are you also putting it behind you and letting it push you forward?
I'm doing my best to, and I'm doing my best to, but I think this is why it's so important to have strong people around you. You know, whether it be your friends or your family, and I'm really lucky. I'm so emotional. I'm going to just, right now I'm looking at the camera. I am really emotional. I'm going to continue to get emotional on this show.
One, two, three.
You look at me like, come on, get your clap together. Like the look you gave me.
You have rhythm. I know you have rhythm. I've seen you dance.
I know, but like watching somebody else to clap and time out your claps, that's a whole different level of syncness.
Speaking of counting, I came across something interesting, and I really, really, really want to try it with the kids as part of their homeschooling. It fascinated me, and I read it, and I didn't try it right away, but I want to. So the idea is to, and it's good for adults too. Anyone can try this. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of all the.
Okay, well, just leave this. Don't touch
Get rid of all the flower gunk.
These flowers here, that stuff that's in them, they'll stain everything. So just leave it. Don't touch it. I'll clean it up after.
Okay, so the idea is to try and get left brain and right brain moving properly, because a lot of kids, especially kids, have a hard time, and adults have a hard time focusing.
Is it like this thing?
Kind of. It is. You're actually not far off, but the idea is two pieces of paper, one on the left, one on the right.
Yeah.
Two pens or pencils, whatever you like. Pick whatever side you want. On one side, you're doing the alphabet. On the other side, you're counting.
Like 1 to 10, like.
So 1, A, 2, B.
Oh, I don't know.
3, C.
Oh, that's a great. I'm in. I'll try it.
What the study that was done, and again, I just did very brief reading on this, but apparently within half an hour, problem solving, attention, and whatnot, like it's frustration. Like for the first 5 minutes, like it's like, oh, dude, can't do it. But if you can get them to sit down and actually get them to accomplish the task, it takes about 10, 15, 20 minutes anywhere in there. But shortly thereafter, productivity goes up.
I'm in.
Because what you're actually doing is you're taking and you're bringing both those sides of the brain together to be able to go focus in on this now.
Such a great tip. Oh my gosh, you guys, everybody should try this. We should all try this week and then report back.
I dare you.
Oh, you don't have to dare me. I'm in. I'm doing this.
And then post what the pieces of paper look like.
People who don't understand be like, "Ooh, girl, your alphabet don't look good." Because even just trying it now.
Well, especially on the C. The C with the C and doing the 3, you want to do either one or the other.
No, never gonna do it. No, I've been there. No, yeah, but I'm in. I think it's a great. I love little brain tricks like that. That's why I love a Rubik's Cube. I love things like that. Anything that's gonna do that. I just remember that one as a kid where you would pop the top of your head. And then you would try and do it this way. Or then you'd have to go like this and then do it this way. And I was never good at the other way.
Or chewing gum and walking at the same time.
Well, I got better at that.
That one's the big struggle.
I got better at that one. I've been working hard. I'm in my 40s now. I can walk and talk and chew gum.
Speaking of homeschooling, something that we're very proud of and something that we've been doing since the pandemic. Just to kind of rewind a little bit for those that are new to the show and those that don't know, my name is Dave Wheeler. That's my wife, Candace Rae.
Hi!
Going on 17 years together. 17
years in a few months.
Parenting now going on 15 years this year. And proud parents of a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old, 2 boys. And I think for us, it was when they started bringing home pictures of how to properly social distance. That's kind of when we went, okay.
Well, I know the exact moment for me where it was. Our eldest son has asthma, and he kept being told to put his mask up at school.
In gym class.
Or he was going to sit out and they were going to sit him out completely. And I was like, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. If everybody else is wearing your damn masks.
Okay. Voice down. Inside voice.
Then he should be fine to take it down while he's playing basketball or whatever. So that was kind of the moment. And then there was a picture that came home that our youngest son came home that was colored. And I was like, nope.
Yeah. So we tried the digital Zoom at home thing for a little while.
Yeah, we did that because that was a big thing too. A lot of people wanted you to actually have your kids at home. So then we thought, okay, well they're sort of almost telling us we could, so let's try this.
And then from there we decided to move to Mexico for 2 years because of the mandates, and then so we homeschooled for 2 years in Mexico.
2 years.
2 years.
The best homeschooling I've ever done because the homeschooling was so organic and daily and real and lifelike. You know, it wasn't just like sitting on a beach and oh my gosh, there's a crab, let's Google the crab, what kind of crab is that, or why is the tide like that, or why is the sun like that. But it was also culture differences, money changes, communication differences, smells are different, looks different. It was some of the best life for me because I love traveling, but having them so young be there, like I can see it on them now. They just seem so
so worldly.
I mean, they got shit to work on, but we all
flat out. Our kids are better than yours.
No,
Boom.
I didn't say that. I just I'm not saying that at all. Just because that was such a great time for homeschooling, because you're in a foreign country and we were so isolated. I had no social media. It was just the boys, just a little family pocket, and I think anybody would love to just live in a little bubble, and we forced ourselves in that bubble. Well,
yeah. And then we came back to Canada and we tried school for a year, and there was nothing wrong with the school. Teachers were great. Program was great. We just felt like they got more out of kind of the way we were teaching them. And it was more so about life lessons. And, instead of sitting down and saying, do this workbook and do all these calculations, it was, let's go to the grocery store. Here's our budget. Don't forget about the tax. Here's what we need.
Yeah.
Here's for how long. And actually doing life learning through mathematics or vice versa.
When we first started homeschooling, I had asked so many people around, what do you wish you were taught? And it was unanimous. Second language, how to do my taxes.
Well, second language was offered in school, for the record.
But when I asked it, no, I understand that, but that was the big thing everybody said. So it was like, okay, well, I can teach the kids how to do the taxes, and scan and, and see and understand that part of it. And then the second language was super important to us. So, they're in Spanish. We all are in Duolingo.
Soft flex level 63.
Well, that's a hard flex. Do it. Now you flex on this show. I'll flex for you.
Estoy nivel 63.
Yeah, that's the better flex. The fact that you can speak it. And you're really good. And because you can speak French, you can speak 3 languages. Because you can speak French, you were able to grab it so much. And I mean, English is my second language. So it's super hard for me.
What's your first?
Love.
Flowers.
Hugs.
The universal language.
The universal language of love. That's why, bless Dave for being such a linguistic, because you got, yin and yang, you got paired with me, and I'll look at you and I'll be like,
a cunning linguist.
Yeah, true. Anyway, you were saying about homeschooling.
Yeah, so I mean,
right, left brain.
Just getting back to the whole idea of using everyday tasks and things that we do as far as learning and how to live life, I think are extremely important. And you were lucky enough to have something dropped right on your lap on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That was a huge life lesson.
Huge life lesson. It's not just for them. I always think the life lesson isn't just for them. It was for me too. I wake up and every morning I come downstairs in my little new gym. What's up, brother? I go and I feel like I could have done that better. I'll do that later. I go downstairs. I always do some gratitude. What am I grateful for? And I have a vibration plate that I love 10 minutes on my vibration plate. And I just
It's for working out. It's for working out. It's for working out.
Only for working
Only
out.
for working out,
it's
period.
Not on our bed at all. I go downstairs and I do that, and I feel like grounding yourself in your day helps you when things don't go the way you think they're gonna go, makes you not react in a way that maybe isn't the best.
Well, it's like stretching before you do something before you do something sporty.
Yeah, 100 exactly.
Right.
So we do have curling on Saturday mornings. For the boys have curling, and on
For those watching from other parts of the world, that's not your hair. That is actually a game played on ice, invented by the Scots, and now taken over by...
Did the Scots invent it?
Oh, yeah. That was, yeah.
Oh, I'd like to see more kilts out there.
There was back in the day.
Well, I would like to see more.
Yeah, actually,
I love a kilt.
There's a couple of movies I want to show the kids. One called Men with Kilts. No, that's not right. Men with Brooms.
Oh, I was going to say Men in Black, but that is totally
No,
not where we're going with this.
Paul Gross and Leslie Nielsen
Men
are
with Brooms.
Men with
I feel
Brooms.
like I maybe have seen that.
I don't think so. No.
I saw you in a kilt.
You did on our wedding day.
Ring the
Actually,
bell,
by the
Jensen.
way, happy Robbie Burns Day.
Happy Robbie Burns Day.
Who is Robbie Burns?
He is a Scot.
He is a Scotsman. He is a poet, and he's actually the reason why we sing Old Lang Syne on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew that. I'm married to a Scottish man, so of course I know these
well,
things.
a Canadian.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, here we are.
So curling. They were
so they
going
were
to
going
curling.
to curling, and on Saturday mornings, because Dave, well, not because, but you get up early, 4 o'clock every single day, Saturday mornings. I'm like, sleep in. So, I took that shift, and for a long time, I couldn't take that shift because I was teaching. So you were taking it, and then I was going to teach. So I was like, no, I want to, be there. And anyway, so we were up. It was 8:30. You know how it is. Do you have everything? Are we ready to go? All right. So one kid's got all, the big hero load, and he's like, can somebody open the door? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I grab the door, swing it open. Our car, we do not have a garage. Our car is parked outside, okay, plugged in. Plugged in. I open the trunk, and he goes and starts pulling it in, and I turn, and I'm like, why is the side door open? He's like, what? I was like, why is the side door open? He's like,
And for the record, we live in Winnipeg, so first thought is we got broken into.
And it's also the week of, like, if hell is freezing over, and you've been saying, like, when hell freezes over, I'm going to do that. This was the week to do it.
Yeah, negative 30 degrees Celsius with the wind chill. It's approaching minus 50 this week.
So now I'm like, with the side doors open. So I walk up thinking somebody broke into our car. So I walk around the side, and I see it.
And you knew exactly what it was right away.
I knew exactly what it was. It kind of looked like puke, but it was everywhere. It was a Coca-Cola, a full closed Coca-Cola can was left.
Coke Zero.
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Absolutely it does.
Oh, okay. Coke Zero. Coke Zero had exploded in the car. Exploded. There's a picture here. I'm sure you have that cute thing that you do here.
I do.
So you can replay it over and over and over. I was like, oh my gosh. So I call over Angus because it was his side door.
Our eldest boy. Bless you. That's really how she sneezes.
I call him over, and I was like, Angus, did you leave the side door open? No, I don't. I'm like, can you go check? And at that moment, I didn't want to react. This is a big thing. I didn't want to react in a way that would be something that he would feel of, like, when somebody does something wrong, there's nothing worse when somebody yells at you, right? In a marriage, you have to learn kind of like, okay, this is this. But, like, if I, like, knock this over and you're like, what the shit? I'm teaching him at a young age that is acceptable behavior to be received. So I pulled myself.
I think you want to go a little deeper. The way you explained it to me on Saturday after you had picked me up and we went to go watch their game, I think the way you said it was really well. I don't want them to get used to the idea of having someone in their lives yell at them.
Right.
I
didn't want them to think that their person,
their spouse,
could treat them
future
like
in the
that.
Day, yeah.
Would ever treat them in a way that if they made a mistake, because it was a mistake, that they should be yelled at like that. So I knew, because obviously you're like, what the shit? It's everywhere. So I pulled myself away, and I stood there, and he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't. And I said, I know you're sorry. What do we do if there's a mess? That's one of your big lessons. If you make
it's okay to make a mess as long as you clean it up.
So he's like, well, and I said, just do
and
your best.
And that goes for anything. That goes for whatever kind of mess.
Whatever kind of mess. So
metaphorical or actual.
Whatever. And so I took him a few minutes. I was like, okay, I went and took a video of it so I could send it to Dave. And I paused. And then I said, okay, well, we have to go. So let's grab a blanket. And Odin, you're going to have to sit in the back. Let's put a blanket on top of it. We have to go. So he's like, Mom, I don't, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I understand you're sorry. And so we get in the car and we start driving. It's about a 15-minute drive. And I said, I'm disappointed and I'm upset, but I know that it was an accident. But now we have to figure this out, because I was going to watch your game and I had some work that I was doing at the same time. And now I'm going to go and find a place to get this sorted out. Am I going to clean it up at home? We don't have a garage. If we had a garage, I think I would have took it back to the house and done it myself. So what do? We call the chamois. I said, call him up. Why are we calling the chamois? Call the chamois. So we call the chamois. I asked the questions. They said, bring it in. we'll get one of our detailers to take a look at it. So as we're driving there I'm driving there, and I said, he's very upset. Like, he's visibly upset. And I said, okay, well, Angus, it's a pretty big game you're playing. You've got like one more game before like the playoff comes in. And he's like, I know, but I'm so upset. I said, okay, this is how life is. Things happen. They'll knock you off. You're where you think you're going to go. Like, you were so excited last night that this is a big game for you. But now you have something that has made you feel not the best. You did something that wasn't the right thing to do. You made a mistake, and now you feel like this. So what are you going to do with that feeling? Because you can't sit here and go, you got to go play. You have a team to play with.
There's people counting on you.
And there's people counting on you, and you're counting on yourself to show up and be the best version. So I want you to take that feeling, Angus, and I want you to really lock it inside yourself and make it drive you. Oh, I'm so emotional this week. Make it drive you forward. Push yourself to make it forward. Like, you got to let that feeling drive you to be a better version of yourself. You can't dwell on it. It happened. We're going to go get it cleaned up. But you can't let it change the whole course of your day moving forward, because this is life. Mistakes happen. You're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to go into a meeting. You're going to have to go to an event. You're going to have to go to something, and you're going to have it here. And if you have it here and you bring it here, that's a problem. Leave it here, but let it push you to be the best version of yourself. So I was super calm. I was pretty proud of myself, but I do think that has to do with taking the time in the morning. And I also said to him, and you may or may not agree with me, and you feel free to chime in the comment sections. I said, I'm going to go and pay to have a chamois wash, which is like $30. Whatever the cost of the detailing is, you're paying for it.
That's fair.
I thought it was fair. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, how much? I said, I don't know. I have no idea how much a detailing is going to cost. Okay. So I drop him off, and I looked at him and I said, you need to lock in now. Now you need to take that feeling and make it so that you're the best version of yourself for the team. You just take that feeling and turn it into motivation. So then I went to the chamois, and I waited, and I spoke to a guy named Mo. He was the detailer, super great guy. He looked at the back. I'm like, so a Coke can exploded, and he's like, was there sugar in it? Which is why I realized why you brought that up. Because I guess with the sugar,
it's sticky.
It would have been stickier.
It makes it a nightmare.
But the look on his face was the look I needed. Like, I needed the validation, because at that point I've been dealing with 2 children. I hadn't had the adult validation of like, whoa, I needed that. And he just looked at me and he's like, we can fix this. We can get this done. It could take up to an hour. We have leather seats. So I just, okay, let's sit here. So I sat at the chamois. They were really great. The detailing only cost $30
on top of the clean.
On top of the clean, it was like 20 for 30 or something that they do there, and it came out really well. And my car was really clean. And of course, Angus had texted me halfway through his like a game or whatever, and he's like, "How much does it cost?" And I was like, "That's not what you're supposed to be worrying about right now." So I wasn't even going to give him the answer, even though I had it. And then I went to the game, and you had called because I had posted the reel up, because I thought, well, this is relatable. This is something all of us have dealt with, and also, why do we live here? It's so cold, it's such a cold.
Why do we live where the air hurts our face?
So then I picked you up, and you and I talked about it. And I think every year or every day I try to be a better version of myself. I'm a big believer in 1% better. But ever since I started this,
so much so she has socks.
I don't have socks on my feet
that say 1% better.
Oh, I was like, I'm not wearing socks. I should be. But I think it's a good example of, for me, I just was so big on the fact that I didn't want him to think that when something happens in your life, that the reaction of somebody yelling at you is acceptable, because it's not acceptable. It's how do we make this situation better? We're all frustrated. Everybody was I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. Odin's frustrated, sitting on a blanket, and he's like, well, there's Coke, and it's like, okay, we're all frustrated. How do we fix the problem? How do we become better from the problem? And how do we just move forward? So I think there's a lot of that. And to me, that is exactly what homeschooling is. To me, I don't even like calling it homeschooling, just like life lessons. Like, it's just life. This is how it works. I'm trying to train your mind to understand that if all of a sudden you knocked over this vase by accident, it falls on the floor, and somebody's like, you start screaming at you and like, you're an idiot and everything. Unacceptable. You do not get to speak to me in that tone, in that way. That's not okay. Help me pick it up, or walk away. Leave me alone. I'll clean it up. I'll pick it up, and then we can talk about it afterwards. Because I can buy you a new vase, I can buy you new flowers, but you can't take back the way that you treated me. And so it was so important to me. But that's why I stopped and pulled myself aside. That's why I also have the tattoo here that says breathe. Because I remind myself, before you have a reaction to something, just breathe. Take a big breath in. Pause.
Yeah, it's getting high for free.
Take a breath. Yeah, totally. And take a breath out, and then move forward with your reaction. So
now, in saying all of that,
oh boy.
In saying all that, Candace Rae, how you said sometimes it's a lesson for us as well. Sometimes, as much as we're given a lesson, it's a reminder. We're
100%,
we're basically consulting ourselves.
Totally. Yeah, it's a mirror. It's everything. Yep.
So when you have a situation where you have adversity, are you also putting it behind you and letting it push you forward?
I'm doing my best to, and I'm doing my best to, but I think this is why it's so important to have strong people around you, whether it be your friends or your family. And I'm really lucky. I'm so emotional. I'm going to just, right now I'm looking at the camera. I am really emotional. I'm going to continue to get emotional on this show. But I'm so blessed to have such a loving partner. You're so great. And you knew this week before that Saturday, I was having a bit of a tougher week with my mindset. As I've hit the cut, I've gone into a calorie deficit. Gone into a calorie deficit. The workouts have increased and the pace is different and I can feel my body. Right? And it's just a head game. This is as much as about my body. It's actually more about my mind. How strong is my mind in this process? And I wouldn't have been able to get through this week without you. And you did something that
I cooked chicken.
You cooked. Well, you've been amazing. You've been cooking a lot of my meals. I struggle to be in the kitchen. Oh, does this taste good?
Oh, you're classic for that.
I'm classic for that, but you weigh out your food, right? So then all of a sudden I sit down and I'm like, oh, there's my 120 grams. It's like, well, yeah, what about the 80 that you ate over there, right? So I try to stay away from the kitchen because I know that that's a temptation. And you've been great. You're like, I'm happy to do the cooking. And you're a much better cook. I've said that before. You're a much better cook. I still make a mean cookie. But you did something so kind and so sweet that I just think that we should bring back. I think everybody should bring this back. If you grew up in the 90s, you know that somebody maybe in your life, a friend or somebody that you liked or a crush would make you a mixtape or a mix CD, and they'd put all their favorite songs or your favorite songs or combination, and they'd give it to you. And that was just like, that was a love letter, love language of its own. And that's a romance that's lost. And I've talked about on the show before how much I love a record player because you can't skip. You have to take it out and you lay it out and you put it on. There's a romance to that, the slowness to it. And you said, I said, I think I'm going to start wearing my headphones. And I need to really, like, when I'm, working out at the Wire, I'm working out at Overtime Fitness, I just need to just kind of lock in a little bit more, and I need to get the noise out of my head. And I got an idea. And
look, this goes back to, and that habit still exists today with this generation where they create playlists. Okay? Mm-hmm. Is it as labor-inducive? No, it's not. It's not, doing what you had to do where you'd put a vinyl on and then hook it up to your tape deck or record something off the radio. And, it's this song, then it curates it for you and then shuffles it if you want to. So the romance of putting together a mixtape or a mix CD certainly is a little bit different now than it was back then. But I always refer back to one of my favorite movies from the 90s. It's a movie that you and I watched in my place on Amherst in St. James on that tiny little TV with the VHS that you talked about last week built into the TV. And it's a movie called High Fidelity, starring John Cusack, where he said making a mixtape is a very difficult thing to do because you're using somebody else's words to express how you feel. And it's a very demanding task because you got to get it right. And it has to be proper. And so luckily, because of the production background that I have, majoring in production at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology in the cinema, television, stage, and radio program over 2 years, I am a above average audio producer. And so I thought, well, it's one thing just to put together a couple songs, but if we're doing this to motivate you for the gym, let's get some kick-ass motivational quotes in there from recognizable movies like "They can take our lives, they can take our land, but they'll never take our freedom." Things like that. Or I'm not going to spoil it, but because that's a personal hour and 18 minute mix from me to you. But you listened to it this morning for the first time.
This morning, this morning I listened to it this first time. You finished it yesterday, and you said, "Okay, it's there. You just got to download it in the morning." And I had I had 2 requests. I said, please start it with The Pot by Tool. I love that song. It motivates me because the first line is, who do you think you are?
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have been out of your head.
And I just love that because it's just a great reminder that you'll always be confronted by people. You just got to keep going. And I asked for Dolly Parton. Like, I have a really interesting playlist. And you delivered. You literally bookmarked that whole thing with those 2 songs and everything.
Bookended them, yep.
Bookended them. And you, see, I told you, English is my second language. What am I going to do here? And you did. And you put motivational quotes. And and things from movies. And so you're in the middle of a song and it comes on. And, you know, when a song goes up, and I'm not kidding. I was crying all the way to my gym. Just to the point where people were like, when I was working out, like, are you okay today? Like, they could sense that's because I had this, but I was so emotional hearing these quotes from these amazing people who've said amazing things in movies and motivational speaking, and and all of a sudden you hits you, right? And you're in the middle of a set and you get it, and it's like I was welling up, and I'm so grateful because I have the grit to do this, but it's a lot harder this week than it has been. Oh, it's so much harder. So having you and the kids be so supportive, but the noise can get loud. Like and it's hard when I want to put it out online, and I want to make sure, you know, I want other people to hopefully inspire people to just be 1% better. And you can go after your dreams at any age, but also like it's in your head. Like, I'm putting it out there so people can give me back their feedback, right? And so to know that I could put there's personal recordings from you in there in my head that I go, oh yeah, but it's actually just about this. It was actually just about a dream, and it's actually just about you and the family supporting me, and the rest of it really is just noise.
Well, I remember when you first started this, you said, and people told you this, said the biggest thing you need is support at home. If you don't have support at home, you're not going to be able to do this. And so I've been reminding myself of that through all of these, you know, little bumps in the road and all these little hurdles, going, this is part of the process. What can I do? What can the boys do? And so today, while you were at the gym working out, our youngest was already up. I had gotten up shortly thereafter, and then I went and woke up the older one, and I said, okay, we got stuff to get done here today. And, you know, the usual, I was like, oh, but it's Sunday and I want to relax. And I said, look, here's the deal. I said, this is called mitigating damages. Okay. I said, so no, this is absolutely true. And I'll be honest with you. I said, this is mitigating damages. I said, if your mother comes home to see the house the way it is right now, I can guarantee you I know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to be like, guys, I come home, I can't do everything. I can't. Why is this here? I asked about this yesterday. Why is this not done? Why is that not done? I said, so you know what? I said, if we put 45 minutes to an hour of just getting stuff done, we're going to mitigate those damages. And I said, instead, what we're going to get, we're going to say, wow, guys, thanks so much. Or even if she doesn't notice, that's okay too.
Oh,
it's
I noticed. Yeah. I walked in, I could smell it, and I mean, my love language is cleaning. I love cleaning. I love that.
And we didn't do a deep clean, like we weren't mopping or anything.
But visually, I get overstimulated. If there's too much stuff on a counter, or, you know, and kids are kids, they leave this here, and all of a sudden you're just like, why is that on there? And like that gets to me. And I can wash the floors, I can do that. I just need the stuff put away. I don't want it sitting out. And so when I walked in, I was like, and it felt like a load, because I have walked in. We all have walked in, and you're like, come on.
Yeah,
that laundry's been sitting for 2 days. I've asked you for 2 days.
Totally. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful. Are you sure you don't want to flex? Because this seems like just a 28-minute podcast about Dave Wheeler. You want to flex?
No, well, look, because your mother's coming in this week, and we've got your brother-in-law coming in this week, staying with us. So, I mean, just things need to get done. So just get it done.
And I think it's a great reminder, too. We've been together for going on 17 years.
Maybe 17 years this spring.
Let's go.
LFG.
Let's go. I think that's one of the big things is for those first few years, you're in a honeymoon state. You're excited. And I think, I'm still excited. I love seeing you and seeing you succeed. But I think it's part of the process of learning each other's traits. Like, you know, I get overstimulated if I see that. Or, hey guys, dad needs this for this to happen. Like, his mental health is better if we just do a little bit of this over here. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of when you're in a marriage is understanding that it's not, oh, it's 100. No, I'm at 10% today. You're going to have to go 10%, 110%, 50-50, 100. Like, it's always like trying to be, what I love about it so much is like trying to push yourself and push each other further into success and further into all the things you want to accomplish off your checklist.
Well, I think we're at the stage now, and I'm not 100% on this, but I know there's been psychological research behind this. But
A new ring? Oh, sorry.
The only thing that's ringing is my ears. The idea of, marriage has stages, and I think marriage is what brings us together. Shout out to my boy Jensen and his wife Jellybean, who requested that
Such a great nickname. I'm starting to get at the gym like, "What's up, brother?" Everybody says it to me after last week's clip that went out, and now she's Jellybean. I want Jellybean, not.
Well, her name's.
What's up, brother? Time.
Well, we can turn it into an acronym if you want.
Oh my gosh.
So they requested that I do that when I married them a few years ago, which I thought was pretty cool.
So cool.
But I believe that we're in the acceptance stage of our marriage. And what that means is that we've gone through the honeymoon stage, which you talked about. We've gone through the ups and downs
and learning parenting. That was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough time.
And learning each other's habits and
how we came from different homes and how we were parented different, and how your parenting skills come out.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And now we're at the part where we've we've accepted, for the most part, I've accepted who you are, you've accepted who I am.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, because there's always new things that we'll learn along the way, right?
True.
But for the
you really skipped over the hard part, by the way. That those few years where we got tested. We got tested. How much do you love each other? Cool. We're going to pull your job. We're going to pull your credibility. We're going to pull your house. We're going to pull your finances. Go. All in a week.
But we put that behind us and we let it push us forward.
Yeah!
So here we are. So
we're in the acceptance stage.
We're at that part now where, our kids are at a certain age and it's just go. And we've been talking a lot about this on my radio show recently. And my co-host Tyler Carr even said, do you have free time? And I was like, was that a thing? And as much as it's super busy and all the parents out there can agree, we're dropping the kids off here and got to do this and all these things I got to get done and got to cook and you're just flying off the handle. But I promise you, and I think we all know this in the back of our minds, that when these days are gone, we will miss them.
100%.
When we are empty nesters and the kids are off doing their things and we're going to be sitting around twiddling our thumbs going, you want to play another game of crib? Mm-hmm. Want to go for a walk?
A crib. Yeah, I'm going to be like, you want to get on a plane? But okay, we'll get there.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, but I agree with you.
And so we're in that acceptance where we've accepted, we've gotten here, now we've got to plow through this next part, and then I'm not quite sure what the next stage is, but I believe there's going to be new learning because as our
empty
health...
nesters, I think it's the next stage.
Yeah, I mean emotionally, as when that comes and waiting for that moment to become grandparents and how our health will begin to change and there's a lot of moments but right now we're in that window of acceptance as far as each other.
Yeah, it's a great stage. It's better than some of the other stages where you're really
I don't know, I like the honeymoon one. That was fun.
Breaking tables is great. But I think I think you're right. That's exactly where we're at. And I thought about that recently because I do think we are so blessed to have time. One thing I love about homeschooling is we have so much time with our kids. And it comes at a cost. I don't have a full-time job, so I do a little of this, I do a little of that, I do a little of this, I do a little of this to be able to help put more money on the table because it ain't 1950 and one person can't just work. So we share a car where we don't have a garage. There's things that we don't have that maybe we could have if both of us left. But I'm grateful that we get the time because there's moments that it's 3:00 in the afternoon and we're playing Rummy Cube as a family and we're laughing and listening to music. And I think that is a blessing. That is the blessing of what we get to do here. So if you're ever thinking of homeschooling your kids, I would highly say, yeah, do it. You're going to have to give up a lot of stuff to do it, but it's so worth it.
And I'm going to take a moment here to maybe grandstand a little bit. And I can understand somewhat where the governing bodies are coming from. But I don't like this whole, we're going to check up on you and make sure that you're teaching the right things. It's like, hang on. First of all, look at your track record. Our province is the worst in the entire country. Our country is one of the worst in the world as far as education. And you're going to check up on me? There's a reason why I pulled my kids from your program because it sucks.
Right.
Now, and that is not a shot towards anybody that has
No,
a kid
no
in school.
teachers, 'cause there's so many amazing-
teachers.
yeah.
It is, and I've talked to friends who are teachers and have spouses who are teachers, and the system is broken. It's 100% broken, and that is not a fault for anybody who has their kids in school. There are a lot of success stories. Absolutely. Are they going to learn? Yes. But we just felt that we could do better for our kids, and the things that we feel that we're doing, that's on us.
You mean
know what I mean?
you think a governing body is overreaching?
Yes, I just don't like the whole, well, if you don't teach your kids properly, we're going to come get them. Yeah, no, you're not.
Well,
no, you're not.
I will. Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You do have to. So for those that don't know, when you homeschool, you have to submit forms before the end of September 30th, and then I have one. I have an email sitting there. I have to submit everything that they learn, and I can understand it to a point. Are your kids learning? What are they learning? They have basically a form of what you fill out, but also here you have to use I have to use specific resources as the base. What I choose to build off of that is fine. Mm-hmm. And then again in June, we do that again. I was told, and I don't know if this is because I haven't pushed, but I was told that if I don't do that, if I choose not to do that, and they choose to check in on me, I can be fined up to $1,000. And I was told, again, I don't know if this is true, but I was told also the government could take my kids away.
What a load of shit.
And I thought, that's ridiculous. I'd love for you to come sit down and meet my kids. Meet them. Mm-hmm. You meet them, and you walk out that door. But this, I mean, that's a whole thing. Like, I'm a firm believer. Like, I mean, conspiracy theories, but like, you're overreaching. Mm-hmm. You're overreaching. So I'm happy to play in the sandbox and give you the documents, because I'm okay with understanding. Okay, he's in grade 9. He should be learning these things. Okay, he should be learning these things. That's fine. I'll base off of that. But I don't want to be micromanaged. I don't do well with being micromanaged. So right now, the way it is, I've just learned to accept it. But if it were to be more than that, I'm sure I would push back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, speaking of conspiracy theories, I want to throw this one at you since you brought it up. Yeah. So, this isn't the conspiracy theory of that we're living in at some point we shifted dimensions or universes somehow.
2012 is the idea where people think that we shifted into a different timeline.
Some people believe it's when we turned on the Large Hadron Collider or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
At CERN. But you're familiar with the Mandela Effect.
Of course.
Okay.
Berenstein.
There's a lot of the monocle on the Monopoly Man.
The monocle on the Monopoly. Actually, Mandela himself.
Right, Nelson Mandela.
Was he in jail or did he die?
Did he die in jail or did he come out and become president? There's a lot of
Can Candace speak 6 languages or was it just one?
So the idea of the Mandela Effect is that people remember different things from the past. I'm going to ask you a question. This one just popped up recently. Okay. In the Britney Spears video, Hit Me Baby One More Time, what color was her skirt?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I'll move on. There's another part to this. Britney Spears
and it was a pleated skirt. I can't remember if it was black or pink, or the top was pink and the bottom was black, but it was black or pink.
Okay. In the Oops, I Did It Again video where she's wearing the red bodysuit.
Yes, I remember this video.
Did she have a wraparound ear microphone that came down?
Of course she did.
She did?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot of toys that were sold and the dolls and all that kind of stuff and videos of showing her that. But in the actual video, there's nothing. There's no, she is not wearing a headpiece in
your face.
In that video.
I love you, but
all.
I don't mean it like that. Really?
Yeah.
That she's not wearing one.
So for the record, she was wearing a black skirt. For those of you that remember that it was a kilted.
It was a kilted skirt. I remember that for sure.
It was not a kilted skirt. It was a black skirt. It was a plaid. For those that were thinking it was plaid or gray, it was not. It was black.
A new one.
How about that?
Do you believe that there was something that happened for there to be a Mandela?
There's something to it. There's something to it for sure. There's got to be the fact that you could take two people and say, "Oh yeah, I used to read the Berenstain Bears," and go, "You mean the Berenstain Bears?" And two of them to show evidence that they were written. Like some have books that say the Berenstain, and some have books that say the Berenstein.
The big one for me is the monocle
on the Monopoly guy.
On the Monopoly guy, that's a big one for me because he had one, and people and they're like, no, they've never had one. There was another one for not supermarket sweep. That's a whole nother conversation. Love that show. The sweeps that would come to your door. The guy.
Oh yeah, Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon. There's a whole conspiracy around that he was never actually giving away the money.
Yeah, the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Apparently, he was part of a different. Like you remember him giving away money, but he wasn't part of Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, he's not Publishers Clearinghouse.
He was part of another one. Yeah,
right.
And I remember 100% Ed McMahon showing up at your door with Publishers. Hey, it's Ed McMahon with Publishers Clearinghouse.
I know, but they say that didn't happen. So that's the idea where people say like time like slipped.
Yeah.
And it was, where did you move into this one? And
yeah.
I've heard it's at 99. I've heard it's in 2012. I've heard it's when CERN was turned on. I heard all these things, like colliders. I find it all fascinating. This is why I love conspiracies. I don't get mad about conspiracies. I think they're so fun. My dream is to have a conspiracy theory party where all my friends come and they present a 5-minute PDF, try to convince me blank or convince each other. I think it would be so fun because we live in to me, it's just, some of them are so absurd. It just takes your mind and it turns it like over here, and it just takes away the realness of all the other shit that you got to listen to all the time. So when somebody says, oh gosh, there's so many conspiracy theories, my brain went into so many of them, space isn't real, then somebody says that, you're like, come on, and then you go on this diatribe and you're like, fun. Like, to me, that's fun.
That's one of, okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's say,
but they're
I totally get it.
Yeah,
yes, I totally get it. The only problem is sometimes people get down such a deep rabbit hole, and with the internet these days and with social media, they'll feed you all of that.
Yeah,
they will
like
find
the
stuff. They will find stuff and just keep feeding you because they want to keep you engaged, and they don't care what it is. They don't care if it's right or if it's wrong or whatever it is. Like, found something else. Here you go. And then you get your mind wrapped up going, all of this is 100% real.
Yeah.
I believe all of this.
Right.
And that's the danger.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and like everything in moderation, including moderation.
Right. Look, and that all stems from Alice in Wonderland. How deep does the rabbit hole go, right? And so the idea is that you could end up, in the land of the Queen of Hearts.
Right.
So, before we wrap things up, really quickly, I will say, because we are in that go stage right now of our lives with our kids and doing everything, we don't get a lot of time. And you and I are both big fans of movies. I used to watch the Oscars every year. I used to fill out Oscar pools, and I used to love it. And it was just a big thing. I don't have time to watch all of the nominees anymore. I don't. I really don't. We've seen one. We've seen one movie that is nominated that is nominated for an Oscar this year. One, and that is Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, who you and I were actually introduced to very early, about 15 years ago, when we watched a show called...
It's not Parenthood.
No, yeah, it was Parenthood.
Yeah,
it was Parenthood. It was a great show. Loved it, and he showed up as a very young man who was dating one of the characters on the show, and you and I both fell in love with him right away, going, "Wow!"
Yeah, right away he took the scene.
This guy's got chops. Like, oh my god! And his name was easy to remember. I'm like, Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan. It was easy to remember, and we kind of followed him along. And he was then in our Marvel movies. He was in Black Panther, and we're like, this guy's great. And then he was in Creed, and he is unbelievable in this new movie called Sinners, and it's been nominated for 18 Oscars, like almost every category. It's been nominated for an award. It's mind-blowing. It is not the movie you and I were expecting.
Nope. Just go in going, okay.
From what I understood, like watching the trailer, it looked like a period piece back in the 1920s about a couple of guys, a pair of twins, who made it out of Mississippi.
And he plays the twins.
He plays both twins.
Yeah, which I think is great.
Who made it up to Chicago and did well for themselves and came back to Mississippi and started investing in their local community. And then it turns into something that I don't even want to spoil for you, but holy moly, it is not what we were expecting.
It's not the movie you're expecting it to be, but it's a great performance.
It was really good.
There were so many people that performed so well, and it's captivating to the point where last night on Saturday nights, because I get up so early on Sunday mornings to get to the gym and do my workout, I want to be in bed and sleeping by 10, and it was 9:30. You're like, okay, well, let's shut it down, and there was still an hour. I'm like, no. I don't know how I feel at the very moment about this movie, and I'm not sure if I like it or if I don't like it, but I need to know how it ends. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they really they take you on an emotional ride. So if you've seen it and you want to leave a comment under below, like if you liked it,
don't spoil anything.
Yeah, just like thumbs up, thumbs down. I liked it. I didn't like it. I just think Michael B. Jordan playing the twins in that role, he was so good. He was so good.
Yeah, he was solid. All right, we'll leave it at that. I want to see Marty Supreme. I really want to see that one with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh.
Where he plays the ping pong player, I believe.
I don't.
I know that's how far out of the loop we are. The acceptance stage. Yeah. Leave a comment down below, please. Like, share wherever you can, and reach out to us if you like. If not, that's cool too. We understand you're busy. See you.
I get so emotional. It's so emotional.